Hi, I'm Landon, certified fitness professional with Corporate Fitness Works. Thank you for tuning in for the CFW signature session where I'll be leading you through this yoga workout. For this workout, all you'll need is a mat. We'll be moving front, back, side to side. Be sure to move any furniture out of the way. If you're new to exercise or haven't been working out for a while, be sure to take breaks when you need to. Put me on pause, sip some water, and come back when you're ready. That covers our intro. Let's get to it. We begin in mountain pose. Feet shoulder width apart, squeezing the heels together, breathing deep within the belly. Spine is straight, posture is up and erect. Inhale, reaching up overhead, taking a deep breath in. Exhale, pushing our hips forward into our standing back bend. Inhale, exhale, hinging at the hips, bending forward into our forward bend. On the next inhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time, breathing in and reaching all the way up overhead, pushing our hips forward into our standing back bend, exhaling at our hips, bending over into our forward bend. And on the next inhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time, bringing ourselves all the way up, reaching overhead, going into our standing back bend. We'll inhale, exhale, hinging at the hips into our forward bend. We inhale and roll up one vertebrae at a time, reaching all the way overhead. One big breath in. Exhale, standing back bend. Inhale, exhale, bring our arms down into mountain pose. Readjust and strengthen your mountain pose. And on the next inhale, we're going to reach up, breathing in. Exhale, standing back bend, pushing our hips forward. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, bending forward into forward bend. Bending our knees slightly so that we can step back into our lunge position. Gently place the knee onto the ground. Readjusting our hand position. Inhale, lifting the chin and chest up. Exhale as we plant our hands and step back into our plank position, lowering ourselves down slowly using chaturanga. We'll inhale, looking up, lifting the chest and heart off the mat into cobra position. Exhale, doing our push-up and pushing our sit bones back over our legs into our downward dog position. And on the next inhale, we're going to look up from our downward dog. Exhale, step forward with the other leg, placing our knee down. Inhale, looking up into our lunge position. Exhale, stepping up into our forward bend. And on the next inhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time, reaching up over our head, leaning back into our standing back bend. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hinging at the hips into our forward bend. And we're going to step back into our lunge position, gently placing our knee on the floor. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, readjusting our hand position, planting our hand under our shoulder and placing our hand on the outside of the other foot. Inhale, opening up into a twisted angle pose. Breathe and twist. On the next exhale, we're going to bring the hand down to the foot, placing our hand onto the mat and stepping back into our plank position, performing our chaturanga as we slowly lower ourselves to the ground. Inhale, breathing in, looking up into our cobra position. Exhale, we perform our push-up and push our hips back and up, bending our knees and then extending our legs, bring our heels to the mat. We're going to look up from our downward dog position, stepping up with our leg into our lunge position, gently planting in the knee down. Inhale, looking up. And on our exhale, we're going to plant our hand, the opposite hand of the front leg, and open up, lifting our other arm into the sky, twisting angle pose. Breathe. On the next exhale, we will untwist, bringing the hand back down to the mat, stepping forward into our standing forward bend. And on the next inhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time as we reach up and overhead, pushing our hips forward into our standing back bend. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale into our forward bend. We're going to bend our knees slightly and step back into our lunge position, gently placing the knee onto the floor. We're going to inhale, looking up. And as we exhale, we're going to lift the knee off the mat, staying in our lunge position. Inhale, reaching both arms up, way up to the sky into our warrior one position. On the next exhale, we're going to bring the hands back down to the mat, readjust our position, and step back into our plank position and perform our chaturanga. We inhale into cobra. Exhale, we'll push up into downward dog, pushing our sit bones back and up, heels to the floor in downward dog. Looking up from our downward dog, we're going to step forward into our lunge position, gently placing our knee onto the floor. Inhale, looking up. And as we exhale, we're going to lift the knee off to the mat and inhale, reaching both arms up into our warrior one position. As we exhale, we bring our hands back down to the mat, stepping our foot up into our standing forward bend. As we inhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time as we reach overhead, taking a big breath in. Exhale, standing back bend. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward bend. Bring our hands to the mat, bending our knees so we can step back into our lunge position, gently placing the knee onto the floor. We inhale and we look up. As we exhale, we lift the knee off the mat, breathing in, reaching up overhead into our warrior one position. Exhale, adjusting the back foot, reaching front and back into our warrior two position. From our warrior two, we will straighten and extend our front leg, and then side bend, reaching for the floor into our extended triangle pose. We inhale and sit up from our extended triangle pose, bending our front knee back into our warrior two position. Inhale, reaching both arms up into our warrior one position. Exhale, bringing our hands down to the mat as we step back into our plank position, doing our chaturanga. We inhale into cobra. Exhale, we do our push-up and reach our hip and sit bones back over our legs and feet and extend our legs into downward dog. We look up from our downward dog, stepping forward with our leg into our lunge position, gently placing our knee onto the floor. Inhale, we're going to look up, lifting our hearts and eyes to the sky. As we exhale, we lift the knee off the floor and inhale, reaching up overhead into our warrior one position. From our warrior one position, we'll exhale, reaching front and back, front knee bent, readjusting the back foot into our warrior two position. And then we're going to inhale, reaching with that front leg, doing our side bend, reaching for the floor into our extended triangle pose. Breathe in triangle pose. And we'll inhale, standing up in our triangle pose, bending our front leg into our warrior two position. Inhale, reaching up into our warrior one position. And on our next exhale, bring our hands to the mat as we step forward into our standing forward bend. On the next inhale from our standing forward bend, we will roll up one vertebrae at a time, taking a breath all the way in as we reach up overhead. Bring our hips forward into our standing back bend. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, diving down into our forward bend. On our next inhale, we're going to reach out into the front with strong, straight legs into our flat back position. Exhale into our forward bend. Inhale, reaching forward into our flat back position. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, straightening the back, flat back position. Exhale, forward bend. On this next inhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time into our standing position and reaching overhead. Exhale, standing back bend. Inhale, reaching up. Bring our toes out, squatting down. Exhale into seated squatted posture. Breathe as you squat and sit. And on our next exhale, we're going to place our hands to the mat, step our legs back into our table position, hands positioned under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Inhale, look up, arching the back. Exhale, round the spine, looking down. Inhale, up. Exhale, round and down. Breathing, moving with the rhythm of the breath. We inhale, looking up, arching our back and spine. Exhale, rounding the spine, looking down and back. From our neutral table position, we will push our hips up into the sky, straightening our legs into our downward dog, elevating one of our legs into our three-legged dog position. We hold that position. Try to stay balanced between both arms, strong with the legs, flat back, high leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the leg down, and inhale. On the next inhale, we're going to bring the other leg up into the sky, into our three-legged dog position. Keep the leg high and keep the arms balanced. Breathe. And as we exhale, we'll bring the leg back down into our standard downward dog position, keeping our hips over our feet. And on the next exhale, we're going to bring our knees to the mat. Now we're back into our neutral table position. Doing our cat stretch as we breathe in and look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, arch the back and look up. Exhale, round the back and look down. Breathing in, breathing out. Exhale, round the back. We're going to breathe in, looking up, and exhale, bring our hips back down to our heels into our child's pose position. We breathe in child's pose. On the next exhale, we're going to come out of our child's pose position, maneuver ourselves onto our sit bones, sitting onto our mats, bringing the soles of our feet together as we prepare to get into cobbler's pose. Knees out, soles of the feet together. Cobbler's pose. After we readjust our sit bones to ensure that we are sitting evenly, we will grab at our feet or ankles. Inhale, back straight, reaching up. Exhale, leaning forward at the hips, breathing in the belly, coming forward as far as we can in our cobbler's pose. And we will inhale, sitting up, looking up. Exhale, hinging forward, cobbler's pose. Inhale, sitting up straight, looking up. Exhale, hinging and leaning forward in our cobbler's pose. Breathing into our hips, into our cobbler's pose. Inhale, sitting up, and on the next exhale, extend our legs out into our wide angle pose. Readjusting our sit bones. On the next inhale, we're going to reach up, inhaling up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, bending forward into our wide angle forward bend. On the next inhale, we're going to try to roll up in our wide angle seated position. Breathing in, reaching up. Exhale, hinging at the hips into our wide angle forward bend. Once again, we'll inhale, rolling up, and then reaching toward the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips into our wide angle forward bend. Breathe in wide angle forward bend. And then we inhale and we roll up into our upright position. And on the next exhale, we're going to bring our legs together, bringing them my feet side by side, but hip distance apart. And we'll push down by our hips into our staff pose, elongating the spine, strong legs, strong posture. As we come out of relaxing our staff pose, we'll breathe in and reach up overhead and do a seated forward bend, grabbing at the feet and the toes. Using your middle finger and index finger, you can grab the big toe, pull, keeping the spine straight, head up. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, seated forward bend, grabbing the big toe. On the next inhale, we're going to reach up, straightening our spine, reaching up. Exhale, seated forward bend, getting deeper each forward bend. Next, we're going to inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bring our hands by our side, readjusting our sit bones in our staff pose. As we prepare to bend the legs, tucking one foot under the other leg and the other foot over the knee, as we reach around with the opposite arm, hugging the leg, arm behind you. Inhale, exhale, twist into half Lord of the Fishes pose. This is our twisting posture. And on the next exhale, we're going to readjust, change our footing. Take our other leg, tuck it in under us, put the knee to the ground, take the other foot, place it over that knee, taking the opposite arm, hugging the knee, putting the other arm behind you to make sure our posture is straight and up. Inhale, exhale, twist and look over the shoulder into half Lord of the Fishes pose. On the next exhale, we'll come out of half Lord of the Fishes pose. Readjust our position on the mat as we lay down with bent knees. And we breathe. And on the next inhale, we're going to push our hips up off the mat into our low bridge position. On the next exhale, we're going to bring our hips back down to the mat as we bring our knees into our chest and prepare for wind release pose. Breathe in wind release pose, pulling the knees to the chest. We'll reach our hands between our knees and grab the outside edge of our feet, bringing our feet up closer to our chest along with our knees into Happy Baby pose. While we're pulled back in Happy Baby, we will rock from left to right, from side to side, massaging the spine in Happy Baby. On the next exhale, we're going to bring our feet back to the mat from Happy Baby and walk our feet out to the outer edge of our mats, letting our knees fall in, and we'll rock our knees from left to right, side to side, massaging the hip joint inside the hip. Breathe and rock. As we rock, we inhale and lift our arms out wide to the side, and we drop our knees to one side, placing our bottom foot on top of our top knee, looking in the opposite direction, away from the legs, twisted belly pose. Breathe. On the next exhale, we'll bring our feet back to the mat and our knees back to middle, rocking, massaging the hip joint from left to right. And then we exhale, and we're going to drop the legs to the other side, placing our bottom foot on top of our top knee, looking in the opposite direction of the legs, breathing in twisted belly pose. And on the next exhale, we're going to bring our feet back to the mat, our knees in the center. We're still going to sway a little bit from side to side. Continue the internal massage of the hip joint. On the next exhale, we're going to bring our soles of our feet together while laying down and place our feet below us with our knees open into our reclined cobbler's pose. Letting our knees fall open, opening our hips, relaxing into the mat. Breathe. On our next exhale, we're going to reach both of our legs out strongly, holding our strong reach while lying down, breathing deep within our bellies. And on the next exhale, we relax the whole body into corpse pose. Breathe in corpse pose. Allow the bones, the spine, the muscles, the skin sink into the mat. Breathe in corpse pose. On the next inhale, we're going to lift our right arm up, roll to our right side, push ourselves over the right tricep and left palm, tucking our legs underneath into a cross-legged position. We're going to readjust our sit bones to sit evenly. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, fold forward into cross-legged forward bend. Breathe in a cross-legged forward bend. And when we inhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Bring our hands to heart center, placing our hands on our knees as we sit and breathe. And when we breathe, we expand the belly down and around, breathing in. When we exhale, the belly closes down, falls flat, the sides drift in. Inhale, we expand our bellies like a balloon. Exhale, we deflate the balloon, and we sit, feeling the rhythm of the breath, and we breathe. And that's the workout. I hope it's helped you feel energized and accomplished. Once again, my name is Landon, and it's been my pleasure to take you through the CFW Signature Session Yoga Workout. Before you sign off, I'd love to know what you thought about this session. Hit me with a like, share, or leave some comments. Hope to see you next time. Namaste.